Yeah, boy. What the fuck?
Hello, welcome to another build guide. So one of my subscribers asked me to do a Hollow Palm leveling and also a Hollow Palm build. So I was like, I actually haven't played Hollow Palm in a very long while because this came in maybe 3.10, something like that. So I was like, okay, let's do that. So I was just looking around what to do, and I was trying to find a manly build, alright, because this is a build that requires no weapon and no gloves at all. So let's just check what this is. So you just need the one with nothing small cluster jewel, which is a drop from delirium bosses, those kind of stuff. So hollow palm technique. So this is the keystone. So you need to get this jewel, put it on your talent tree, and you will have access to this hollow palm technique. You count as dual wielding while you are unencumbered. 60% more attack speed, added attack physical damage per 10 dex. So this means that unencumbered means you cannot use any weapon and also gloves. So you are technically missing 3 or 2, depending on your weapon, obviously, items. So it's gonna be maybe a little cheaper. So we will also need to stack a lot of dex, so we will have some added physical damage because we don't have any weapon, so we don't have any physical at all. So we are just stacking dex, and I'm also going crit build. Most people play resolute, not resolute technique, but non-crit actually. So I'm also using a Rigwald's Curse Amulet. Let's also check this real quick. 7% to unarmed attack crit strike chance. So normally you need a weapon or a spell, whatever, so you will have a base crit. But while unarmed, you don't have anything actually. So this amulet lets you just crit basically without any weapons. So your slaps are actually gonna crit, so you are gonna deal more damage. This also gives some bonuses to claw, stuff like that. But I haven't actually got any notables on the talent tree, but you can also do that if you want. So yeah, before going further, don't forget to subscribe and like, because again, this is a subscriber request build. So I also have a Discord channel, you probably already know. So don't forget to join and chat with me and other players. So let's take a look at how this build works, other stuff, and the gear. So first of all, I am playing a Gladiator. For some reason, no one plays this right now in the leaderboard. There are 0 results, so that's what I tried to do. Most people plays Raider because she's a very popular character these days, and maybe she has better DPS. I haven't actually checked. I just want a manly build that slaps all content. So Gladiator, because we count as dual wield while unarmed, so we are technically both unarmed and also dual wield at the same time. So anything that works for unarmed and dual wield actually boosts this character. Arena Challenger, more attack and movement speed per challenger charge. So we actually need to be in sand or blood stance. That's why we are also using blood and sand. Actually, blood and sand doesn't work for the main hit because Infernal Blow has 2 different hits. So first of all, you slap the target, deal some initial damage. If you stack some debuffs, actually, the target will explode, deal additional damage. It's actually an explosion damage, so that's why it hits a lot. So right now my burst damage melee hit 17 million, and also debuff explosion is 13 million. So I have something like 30 million burst if I get lucky, crit, those kind of stuff. So yeah, if you also use a blood and sand, your explosion, because explosion is an AoE, that also works with blood and sand. So in blood stand, that explosion will also get more increased damage, let's say, or more damage, whatever. I just read the blood and sand description, so that actually works, and this also lets us get challenger charges. So this character is way faster, both movement speed and attack speed, thanks to Arena Challenger. Because dual wielding, we can actually block. That's why also playing a Gladiator helps a lot. A lot of block from the other notables from Gladiator. Just check the screen. You can just read it if you want. We also convert all the attack block to spell block. So this character has both attack and spell block. If I got hit by something, I will have 67 both blocks. So normally the block is kept at 75. You can maybe go for more if you want. But this is what I squeezed in, almost 70 block, and that's enough actually. Yeah, we are also using lots of dual wielding notables on the talent tree, like swagger, block damage, attack damage, those kind of stuff. Blade barrier, again block, damage. So we just want dual wield stuff, dexterity, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We're also using a brutal restraint jewel. Let's let's explain this first. So mine is Asenat, but there are actually other stuff like I believe Balbala, something like that, Nashima, whatever. So you don't actually need those names, the commanders, because they actually provide different keystones. We are not using any keystone. This is where I am using my brutal restraint. You just want different numbers. If you can find the same number that I am using, go for that, but it is very hard probably. You can actually use the TFT Discord, the Forbidden Throw. There is actually a timeless jewel selling section, so you can actually check other players' market, let's say, and maybe buy something from those players. Otherwise, you have to buy random brutal restraints, stick it in your talent tree, and check what you got. So because these are all random, depending on the number. So the stats that you want, the good ones, let's say, dexterity 5%, plus 20 dexterity, physical damage as extra cold damage, because this is actually a physical build, then gets converted to element. That's why physical as extra actually provides a lot of DPS. Some life, that's also nice, but that doesn't provide any DPS. These are the probably best stats. If I missed anything, I will just put it on the screen. So you just want something with good dexterity and other stuff, basically. This also adds 4 or 2 dex, I believe. Yeah, 2 dex on the other small. Yeah. The 10 dexterity notables are actually become 12, and the notes that you get the other notes on the talent. I will just put a picture on the screen. Alright. Actually, they also get 4 dexterity. So this jewel alone provides hundreds of dexterity if you get something good. So definitely a good investment. Let's take a look at the also cluster jewels that we use real quick, then I will explain the rest of the gear. So I'm actually using only one large cluster. You can also go for 2, but this is enough for me. But you can just tinker with the talent tree if you want. So dual wielding, the main purpose of this, we want some leech. That's why we are using Fuel the Fight or Mana Leech, Deadly Repartee or whatever. Block damage while dual wielding damage and create lots of good stuff here. We also wanted block, obviously, and martial prowess, attack damage, attack speed. That's those kind of stuff. We don't actually need accuracy because we have a lot of dexterity. Dexterity also provides accuracy in this game, so we are actually kept at hit chance easily. I'm also using one medium with pressure points for some double damage, precise retaliation, crit multiplier, those kind of stuff. So you can also use different stuff, but pressure points is very important in my opinion, because double damage provides a lot of damage if you are lucky. Other than that, a very cheap Watcher's Eye, Hatred Conversion, because this is a physical conversion build. So Infernal Blow normally converts only 6% to fire damage. I'm also using Hatred Aura to get some extra damage and convert the rest to cold damage. So I'm actually dealing both fire and both cold damage. Because of that, I'm also using Trinity support. So this is basically busted these days. This is not new actually, but people just realize this these days. I'm not sure why. I also have 1 or 2 Trinity builds, I believe, in my channel. Go and check those. CVP is one of the most popular ones in this league. So that's why we are also using Trinity. So we are dealing both damage at the same time, because we are dealing a lot of damage. We slap so hard. The bosses actually got frozen sometimes. You already watched those clips. You notice maybe some bosses like the Breach Lords, those kind of stuff. So they are actually bosses, you know, in the 4-way whatever Maven invitation, the Breach Lord, you know, those kind of not Chayula, but the other bosses got actually frozen because we slept so hard. Also Trinity gives penetration, those kind of stuff, more elemental limit for lowest resonance. So because we are dealing 2 different damage types, we are actually getting resonance of all 3 elements. That's why don't also forget to type your lowest resonance count in the path of building, otherwise your DPS will suck and you are gonna be like, why is my DPS low? Because you need to type it manually on the configuration. Don't forget that. Just check my path of building and just copy paste everything. Yeah. So another jewel that we are using, split personality. You don't actually need the exact this one, you know, because this is actually a little hard to find these days because most people stopped playing. I actually bought this for 4 Exile, but right now it is way more expensive because it doesn't exist. If you can find one, if you have the budget, go for that. If you have a lower budget, here is an alternative, and that is way cheaper. And I just checked it. All right, a split personality with dexterity and strength. Strength also provides a lot of life, obviously, and this build needs some strength. I have it on my belt, so if you don't have any strength on your gear, that is a very good alternative because this slot gives, I believe, more than 50 stat, 50 dex, 50 strength, so that one is a cheaper alternative. I just checked it, it was like 2 exalt, so make sure you go and buy that if you have a lower budget. If you don't have issues with strength, just get this exact one, but again, that is way more expensive right now. So what this does is basically it gives those stats. The further away the place is from your starting location, because we are a duelist, that is here. If you are in game, you will also notice that orange line. Alright, these colors will be orange actually, normally they are yellow. So if you put this in the game, you will notice that the colors are actually orange, so you will know how much distance it gets. So the longer the distance, the higher the stats that it will provide. So this actually provides more than 50 or 60, something like that. Dexterity and life, those kind of stuff, or strength if you got that one. I'm also using only one martial artistry. So this is a unique jewel that grants melee strike range while unarmed, also some attack speed in the small passives in the radius. Also, you know, just for some extra DPS. But the main purpose for this is the melee strike range, so you can slap from further away. If you are not lazy, you can actually swap this with some decent DPS jewel, some rare jewel with crit multiplier, those kind of stuff, at very big boss fights, you know. But I'm actually very comfortable with this. That 4 strike range is actually very important, makes a lot of difference. So I highly suggest you to play with this all the time. You will just notice, alright? And that's pretty much it. So let's just finish the rest of the gear. So I'm trying to make this a quick guide because this is very easy to follow, in my opinion, very fun. Definitely, probably one of my favorite builds of all times. So helmet, fractal toads. This is actually a DPS build. I don't have much life because most of items doesn't provide any life, and we are also missing 3 equipments, you know, weapons, shield, gloves, those kind of stuff. That's why squeezing life is a little hard. So if you think you are squishy for some reason, but we are already have a lot of evasion and block, so this character is not that squishy actually. I died maybe like 3 or 4 times and I am 96 levels. This is the first time I leveled a duelist in this Ultimatum League. So yeah, I leveled the whole character with this build actually. Fractal Toad. So crit multiplier, if your dexterity is higher than intelligence, obviously your dex is the highest stat. And also make sure that your strength is higher than intelligence, which is not that hard to do because you already need strength for Infernal Blow. So you will have additional 15% dexterity. If you have the budget, right now it is cheap, but if the video gets a lot of views, it's gonna be expensive obviously. Infernal Blow has extra fire damage, your best enchant. There are other enchants, just check the Gamepedia if this one gets expensive, so you can just maybe buy something else. Wild Wrap, body armor, this is a little tricky. So this is first of all an upgrade, so you can actually buy the lower version. I'm just gonna put the picture, I think the name is Brisk Wrap or something like that. You can actually upgrade that with the prophecy, that way it is way cheaper. Make sure you get a 6 linked one, alright? Because the links are gonna be the same. Also try to get something with the highest cold resist because that is also gonna be the same. Once you use the prophecy, it won't change. So this is actually way cheaper if you upgrade it yourself. But the trickiest part of this body armor is this is an evasion based body armor, but all the colors we are using are off colors. Here is how to color your body armor. By the way, if you don't want to use this, if you don't want to bother with this, just use maybe astral plate or any kind of evasion based chest if you want. Not evasion, maybe hybrid, because we are actually using a lot of red colors. So just use an armor based chest, maybe something like astral plate, alright. You can also get something with attack crit, maybe additional curse. So just some influences, alright. Dexterity is also nice obviously, so you can just use something like that if you don't want to bother. But this just provides a lot of DPS. and also some movement speed, which is very nice. So here's how to color this chest if you want to play with this. I first used at least 2 red, those kind of bench crafting options, until I hit 3 or 4 of colors. So you just want to hit a lot of reds and only 1 blue. Or you can just go for 3 or 4 red and aim for that blue later on, because we are using 5 red and 1 blue. After that, just go to TFT, buy some harvest crafts. There is actually something called non-red to red color, something like that. So color a socket non-red to red color, or maybe non-blue to blue. So you just want to buy those. They are like 30 or 40 chaos. So you just want to buy maybe like 2 or 3 of them. It's gonna be something like 1 exile total. So you can just convert the rest of the non-red colors to red. That is a very easy and guaranteed way to do that. So yeah, you just need some trading in the TFT and your chest is ready to go. Boots, Garukan's flight, lot of dexterity, lot of movement speed, some immunity to ground effect, which is actually very nice. But probably another good reason to use this, plus 2 max life per 10 dex. I currently have more than 1,300 dex, so you do the math, alright. A lot of health. If you have maybe a very good boot with some other stuff, Tailwind also works for this build. If you got maybe Tailwind boots with life, movement speed, dexterity, maybe you can also use that if you want. Just check the path of building if that provides more DPS. Maybe you can also go for that. For enchant, obviously damage penetrates if you haven't killed recently, so you can slap the bosses harder. And that's pretty much it. Rings, just to keep my resistances, dexterity. Because we are attacking so fast, -7 mana cost is also nice. And finally, Assassin Mark Curse, that is my curse choice because it's also a crit build. This gives a lot of DPS. Finally, belt, because dex stacking is not as meta as strength stacking. Actually, the base types are very cheap. This is actually a double base type. I bought this for 1 exalt only. The ones with only the dexterity implicit, this is a synthesized base. You just want to search for dexterity implicit and buy a rare belt, whatever the base is. It doesn't matter, just make sure it has that dexterity. So these are like pretty much more or less 1 exalt right now. And then you just want to use essence. I'm just gonna put this name on the screen because I always forget those. Just spam dexterity essence until you hit life, resist. Strength is also nice because we need actually some strength. So if you don't get it on your belt, make sure you put it on one of your ring. Is probably enough. So yeah, make sure you get strength from somewhere. This actually isn't that good. You can also get elemental damage with attacks as a prefix. So if you have maybe open prefix, you can also put that and finish the belt. Mine is actually not that crazy. I actually haven't bothered with it that much because the build already slaps so hard. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and join my Discord so you don't miss anything. So thanks for watching and I will see you next time.
Nope. Nope.
Yes,